1960s, there was much tension between people of different social classes, people of different races, and of course, people with different morals and opinions. Currently, the same thing is happening, but in retro perspective, it's happening in different ways as well as similar. The concept of racial prejudice seems simple at first and seems simple to grasp. However, when you take into account the when, how, where, and why it's happening, it's difficult to put into words. And despite the challenge, Harper Lee writes a novel on a story that allows an experience to be felt with its characters inside. One of these characters is Atticus Finch, a respectable man today, but not to society in the Macomb County world. So Atticus Finch is most importantly known for the iconic Tom Robinson trial. This is where he defended a black man out of his own integrity and not because he was forced to. Now, of course, the background seems really simple in the color, but this is also because if I have the simple background, it causes viewers to focus on two things. This being the seating arrangement in the balcony as well as the actual courtroom area. And this is a two-dimensional as well as a sort of three-dimensional sort of perspective, and you're looking at the whole thing through the balcony. And the reason I put the balcony here is because if you were looking down from it above, that means you were looking into a character's perspective, this being Scout's perspective. And in Scout's perspective, because there was so much going on, she didn't really focus on the background too much, but the trial itself and Atticus Finch more importantly. So for my project, I was given Atticus Finch, and the setting or building is the courthouse, of course. And this is when I will go on to my symbols and my themes. So the first symbol I have up here in the window is a mockingbird. Let me open this real quick. There we go. It's the mockingbird. And it is most commonly known, as we have been taught by Mrs. Limecooler herself, as the symbol for innocence. Now, in the story, two main characters, as well as arguably a third, are characterized by mockingbirds. This being Tom Robinson, Boo Radley, and arguably Jem Finch. However, I believe that Atticus Finch as well symbolizes a mockingbird. And this is because in the very, very beginning of the book, in the quote section, Harper Lee uses a quote saying, lawyers, I suppose, were children once. This, of course, brings into this account the theme of stereotypes, but it also indirectly shows that Atticus, a lawyer, was once a child once, and what we also compare children to is the theme of innocence. So if you put it all together, Atticus, a lawyer, was once innocent, and that had to be killed off in some way. This is also shown when he compares Macomb's racism to a disease. And if he hadn't had that innocence killed off, he wouldn't have had to make an opinion based on whether he thinks that is morally correct or incorrect. Now going on to the actual themes, over here I have Tom Robinson's dead body. Now although he didn't actually die in the courtroom scene, I put it in as a theme to represent subjective prejudice. Here, Tom Robinson's body lies in the ground of a courtroom, a place that is supposed to solve cases, not be the location at which they're started. Now, the figure displays subjective prejudice because on top of Harper Lee's facade of hope for Tom Robinson to maybe win the trial, Tom Robinson was already deemed guilty in the public eyes before the trial has started. And in the audience's eyes, the people who are reading the book, he is practically a dead man. Now, for the second theme I have over here is that it slides out. It's stuck, right? Okay. This is a half black and half white diamond. And this is the universal figure for ethics. This shows the theme of good versus evil. And in Macomb County, social ethics clash with each other with what is deemed morally correct and what is deemed morally wrong. And as in today's society, Atticus Finch knows it way too well. The story revolves around the battle between morals and ethics and shows how one thinks can change a lot more than one may believe. Now, Atticus Finch is almost perfect in every single way when he is compared to the usual Macomb society, mainly because of his morals and how he handles certain situations. He was so important in the novel and is respected by so many, even though he is only a fictional character. The courtroom trial was brutal, and in some perspectives, heartbreaking to watch and heartbreaking to witness. Atticus displays leadership no matter how difficult the situation was, and shows how even though mockingbirds may be injured, they might be able to sing still.